I'm Artesians, and some of you might know me from the Genshin Mains Discord. Today, we're going over motion values per second and talent damage percent per second for Genshin Impact theorycrafting. I'm making this video to talk about what motion values really are and how and why theorycrafters use them. And a little bit because even some theorycrafters don't really understand them. Let's start super simple. What is a motion value, and what are MVs that people talk about all the time? In Genshin Impact, motion values are static numbers that are assigned to different attacks and skills and are also known as talent damage percentages. These terms are interchangeable and there's no real difference between the two, and motion value is just the carryover term for fighting games in Monster Hunter. You can find motion values or talent percentages by opening up the talent menu and just looking underneath the attack or skill, and the number is representative of what percentage of your attack will be done as damage. So what is talent damage percentage per second? To put it simply, it's the talent damage done by an attack or a string of attacks divided by the time it takes to do them. But why is this important? Why do we care? Well, attacks and strings of attacks all have different talent damage percentages, and they all take different amounts of time to finish them. For example, both Kaya and Albedo's charge attack spams roughly take about 70 frames to execute. However, when we compare their talent damage percentages and divide it by the time it takes to do them, the difference between the two units becomes very clear. Run through it really quick. We take Kai's motion value for his charge attack spam of 264.4 and divide it by the time equivalent of 70 frames as 60 frames per second. This gives us a talent percentage per second of 226. When we do the same for Albedo, we get a talent percentage per second of roughly 179. When we compare these two values, we can see that Kai is strictly doing more of his attack value per second than Albedo. So off the bat, you can already kind of start to see how theorycrafters calculate these values and why they're so important to know and compare. We don't want to be using combos that yield lower damage per second when something else in the character's kit could be giving us better damage. We can also do this with combos in a similar fashion. You just take the entire string's talent percentage and add them all up, and divide it by the time it takes to do them. So why do some people not use the best combos? You would think that we should all use whatever skills or attacks that give us the biggest motion values per second, but this isn't how the game is played. You see, motion values per second strip away the context around them. For example, Keqing's charged attack has one of the highest motion values per second of any charged attack in the game, but we wouldn't tell you to run around spamming them because, well, they cost stamina. It's an invisible cost or risk that motion value doesn't tell you. In the end, motion values are just indicative of the potential output of attacks and skills, and a lot of theory crafting actually has to do with playtesting and making sure that theoretical motion values can be reasonably achieved. Thanks for checking out the video, and if you liked it, leave a comment and tell me what you'd want me to explain next time. My next video will probably be on how to do frame counting itself, so feel free to subscribe to stay tuned. If you want to get into theory crafting, feel free to check out the Genshin Mains Discord linked in the description. Theory crafters like myself, Jinx, and Shadowblade and Cleeful Frames hang out there all the time.